Smash that limiter!
Hello everybody. This is going to be a bit of a weird one. I have to go. I'm going to have to skip this podcast and come back to it later. I have to go to a emergency. All right. I'll be back later on today. Sorry for that, Spliffy.
No worries.
All
I
right.
will resume.
Yeah, we will resume when I get back. All right, bye. Hello. I'm going to cut that bit a little bit early to make up for the interruption on the first attempt of this podcast. Yeah. Are you there, Spliffy? Yep, I guess he is there. Oh, that hurts my fucking ears. Hang on. I had to turn you down. That really hurt my ears. What are you playing? What is that instrument?
Yes.
So yeah, the first attempt kind of failed because I ended up getting a call out to a haystack fire that was like 30 minutes out or 35 minutes out or whatever. It ended up being under control and we ended up being told to go back. So the fire truck got turned around and we ended up coming back. But anyway, so that's why I had to run off because a haystack fire could take
Hell
off
yeah.
quite bad if it wasn't controlled. Farmer obviously did a good job at removing a lot of the fuel. He apparently got in there and removed a lot of the haystacks and stuff to make sure it wasn't as big as it could have gotten. So yeah, that was an exciting day, and it's not the only call out I've had today already. 1 o'clock in the morning, had a call out to a building that was a something electrical went bang and smoke was smelt. No fire was started, but yes.
We love electrical bangs.
A lot of excitement. Today.
Mm.
So.
Oh, that was a glockenspiel, by the way.
The fuck is a glockenspiel?
It's like a xylophone, but made of metal.
I thought xylophones are made out of metal.
No, xylophones are made out of wood. That's the difference between a glockenspiel and a xylophone, is that xylophone is the exact same thing, it's just bars just made out of wood, and you hit them with a mallet or like a stick or a mallet, and then makes a noise. But a glockenspiel is made out of metal and has a much brighter, tinnier tone to it.
That is interesting.
Mm.
Didn't know that. It's
How peculiar.
Been a while since we've had a podcast, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We seem to be sort of stacking when we feel like it. So yeah.
Well, we're in it for the love of the game.
Yeah, we've been a little busy. My 32nd birthday was not that long ago, and I got these.
I hope it was a good 30 seconds.
You bastard! Hang on. Anyway, it's you can see it. So I got the Maxwell, all these Maxwells. So it's just doing its thing. So I've swapped out these bad boys for these ones. These are great. In fact, these actually, you could argue, have better sound than these in terms of the loudness and the crispness. A little bit of bass is better because these are 100mm drivers, where these are 90.
Yep.
But they're plastic, and I don't want to break them. So I don't want to wear them daily. So I've kind of retired them out.
Yep.
That's why I got the Maxwells. The Maxwells are all metal constructions. They're heavy as fuck. They have 38-hour battery life, which is pretty impressive.
That's quite good, actually.
The strap's easy. It's like a little leather strap. This is the Gen 2 one. The microphone quality is really good. It has an inbuilt microphone. It has noise cancellation for the microphone itself too, which is good. So, like, if there's noise in the background, the AI program will silent it or cancel it out to basically allow background noise not to be picked up, which is kind of cool. I wish it had noise cancelling in terms of the headphones, but to be honest, these seal that tight around your ears that you don't really get much noise bleeding in anyway. They sound pretty fucking good. Very happy with my purchase.
Hell yeah.
Well, actually, it wasn't my purchase. It was
Wasn't
a
your
present.
purchase.
It
It
was a
was part
present.
of your
But
32nd birthday.
I asked for it though, so I got it. I got it. Pitched in. My mum and Ray, so thank them. I also got given a new smartwatch as well. So
All right. Hell yeah.
yeah, because my Fitbit's just a piece of shit. I hate it. Crap. So yeah, I got like a Samsung Galaxy Fit 3, what it's called. It does its job that I intended it need it for, really. The only thing that is a critic on it is the charging cord. Because it's not a popular watch, there's like no aftermarket options really, and the cord that it comes with is real dicky. Like half the time it doesn't work. So, and that's straight out of the box. It's not the watch; it's the actual cord. Because like if you take the cord out and then dig a little bit and put it back in, it charges. Weird.
Have you tried a different? I'm guessing it's USB C.
Yeah, and you can't try a different cord.
Why do you mean you can't? It's lame.
That's what I told you. There's no
Like-
aftermarket option.
No, I mean like any regular USB C.
No, you can't.
Why not?
Because of it needs a special a head to charge it. It uses magnets.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's not
bizarre.
like you plug it in. Most smartwatches sit on like some sort of magnetic charger type thing.
Right.
But this thing is not like the Samsung Galaxy watches or the Apple watches and that. It's got its own specific shaped charging port, which is shit. Just it's shit. The watch is good, but the way it charges is shit. I fucking hate it. Because half time doesn't work. It's like I charged it for 2 days straight and I kept making sure it was saying the lightning bolt was charging. And then it was all good. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. And then I guess I must have bumped it or something. And then suddenly like it didn't charge for the rest of the night. And then I'll get up in the morning, it's 20%. And it has crap battery life. You have to charge it daily, pretty much. Which, you know, you expect it for such a small thing. It's like the same size as a Fitbit, but the screen's more long. It's like more
Right.
portrait. It's in a portrait format instead of just a square.
Right.
So it does its job fine, but like it's just the way it charges is just absolutely dog shit. Which, you know, no one would really know that anyway, unless obviously you own one. So I'm hoping that in a little bit there'll be, because it's only new. I'm hoping in a little bit there'll be some more aftermarket options that come up that can sit on a holder and they're, you know, sit properly on something and actually charge, because that's all it is. It's just the way it sort of sits. It doesn't take much for it to just move out of alignment a little bit and then suddenly it's not charging anymore. Or the cord itself, if it isn't in the right position, it just doesn't charge. So
Yeah, it sounds really lame. Not gonna lie.
yeah, it's not great, but it's fine. I just got to make sure that it's done properly. That's all.
Right.
Short-term problems, eventually some aftermarket option will come out. I'll be able to just buy that off of Amazon or something, and then it'll be fine. It's just the factory one that comes with it is just absolute dog shit. So, you know, but I have aftermarket phone chargers and stuff like that everywhere, you know, like I got wireless chargers all over the place. Because
Yes, I've got a couple.
I prefer wireless charging over plug-in.
I'm sort of indifferent about the whole thing, I must admit.
Plug-in is good if you need to charge something quick. So, like, say for example, you're down to 5% and you need to, oh fuck, I gotta go away. You plug in your, you know, your 30-watt charger and it'll be charged in 30 minutes. That's where it's really good. But I prefer wireless charging because you just put your phone down and just leave it there and do its thing. Yeah, it doesn't charge as fast, but you know, it's good for that. I don't know if it damages the battery over long term or not. Probably does, but oh well. I've already replaced one battery. By the time this one needs replacement, I'll probably be due for an upgrade anyway. So
yeah,
it's already been 6 years. So This is a
Yeah,
6
so,
12 now, I think. So 6 generations beyond.
Yeah. I've got a Samsung S25 I bought at the beginning of the year.
Mm.
That was replacing my Samsung Galaxy S9 that I bought in March of 2018.
Yeah.
It still works. It's just that it's just old enough that it can't connect to the network anymore for whatever reason, whether it's a firmware issue, which is the most likely cause,
It's probably Wi-Fi
or
6. I'd imagine it can't connect to.
oh well, it's ever since they shut down the G3 towers. It's basically they've been slowly shutting them down, and then eventually I just couldn't connect to it, which is strange because I can still connect to the G4 towers, but I don't know, maybe they're doing something with those as well.
Yeah, well, they're removing G4 in some areas and only having G5.
Right. Does that
The
mean
rural
it's
areas
only
are
going to be
doing it too.
G5?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
right.
so.
So they're just going to stick with G5. Wonder if G6 is on its way.
Yeah, I think because they've done it with our tower. We had no reception for 5 days.
Yeah.
Which was a nightmare.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
bet.
understand how it takes 5 days to fix a fucking tower, you lazy pricks.
Well, it depends on the complexity of the tower.
It's not complex. It's literally bolt on, bolt off.
No, I mean, like, they're probably looking at it on a component level.
No, they were changing the actual whole thing. They
Oh,
were
okay, I'll
literally
get no
just
fucking
bolting
clue
on.
then.
Yeah, I have no idea why. It's just typical Australian things where it takes like a job should take a day, but it takes like all the companies fucking weeks to do something. like like roads, for example, South Australia are probably the worst thing in the world when it comes to like roadworks. Roadworks in South Australia, they call us the city of churches, but no, we're not. We're the city of roadworks because they will take a fucking year and a bit to fix a road, and then I kid you not, what just as they finish fixing it, they then started again to fix it again because they fucked it the first time. Do it all the time.
Ruthless.
Oh, I just can't stand them. Like, you know, it would be really nice if one day the politicians just say, let's just give roadworks a break for a year. Let's just not have any. Just for 1 year. I'm sure the drivers would appreciate the potholes and stuff like that, just so they can drive. Because most of the time you can't drive because you're sitting stuck in traffic because they've closed down 3 lanes that only have 1.
Yuck.
That's the same with like here, like when I head back to the major city, you know, it's a long drive, but then between 3 towns, it's all roadworks again after they just built a new highway. Like they just built a new highway and now they've closed it down to do more roadworks on it. Like, so just do it properly the first time. Jesus. What are they hiring?
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, South Australia is the worst when it comes to roadworks. Absolutely shocking. I don't think any of the other states have nowhere near as many issues as we do when it comes to roadworks. You know,
Possibly.
we are also the state that built a one-way fucking freeway, and it was like that for years. God damn it! Oh, it's 12 o'clock. Let's go in the opposite direction. Oh wait, no, it's a weekend. Ah, fuck! I can't. I have to go on South Road. I can't go on the expressway.
That's gonna be one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Oh, it was really good. Like leaving uni at lunchtime, leaving uni like 12:30. And you go on just before the changeover. So the way it works is in the mornings it is going northbound, so heading towards Adelaide for everyone to go into work. And then at 12:30 or 1 o'clock, I can't remember exactly because it's quite a long time ago now, it would swap around. So it will go southbound so everyone leaving work can come home. And if you get in that sweet spot just before the changeover or just after the changeover, you're the only one on the road. And it's the only time the expressway is ever nice to drive on is on that sweet spot. Now that it's dual lanes, so obviously there's the north and southbound. It's good, but it isn't good because drivers can't drive in our state, and they will slow down to 25 for an RA8, like a roadside assistance car for a breakdown. They will slow down for a police officer pulling someone over on the opposite direction. So someone be pulled over on the other side of a barrier, and they'll slow down to 25 because they're on the other side of the road and they think they have to slow down.
Your police officers have sonic speed and can they can run over to the other side of the highway specifically to get run over.
The fast lane isn't a fast lane. It's more like the slow lane, and the middle lane's the medium lane, and the left lane is the truck lane. So, like, if you want to overtake everyone, the keep left and less overtaking rule, that doesn't exist there. It is just weave in and out of traffic to try and get in front of all the retards. That's how you drive on the Southern Expressway.
That's fucking funny.
And when an accident occurs, it is gridlock, and usually there'll probably be another 6 accidents before the first one's even cleaned up.
What the fuck?
Because people will just not pay attention and slam into one another because they're on their phones. The amount of people I used to watch, literally watching YouTube videos in their center dash cluster while they're driving. Or sitting there Snapchatting or typing on Facebook. Like, I'd see it all the time. I really hated driving that road daily. Hated it. Glad I don't live anywhere near there now.
Yeah, I actually, when I came to visit you and Ray, the original plan was to stop in Adelaide and stay there for a night. But basically, the moment I got in there, I thought, nah, I can see why you two left. This place fucking sucks.
It's just shit.
It's so bad. And I accidentally found myself in the freaking CBD of Adelaide. I'm thinking, oh, this is horrible. I hate this. But you see
what I mean about the roadworks? It's just everywhere. Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
They don't they don't prioritize. Like, if I was running the Department of Infrastructure, like, road transport and that, I would probably be like, all right, let's do the roadworks of mains. So there's 3, well, there's actually 2 main roads. Let's say 3. Let's just say 3. There's 3 main roads from north to south. South Road, Marion Road, and you'd probably say the Southern Expressway is one road, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, they're pretty much the major roads you've got. And they will do roadworks on both of them at the same fucking time. And so there's just nowhere to go. You can't escape it, and it just gets so... actually, there is a road I'm missing. Dyson Road, Brighton Road, is Sheriff's Road. It's just all one big road that just changes names as you go along. That road is another one as well. And yeah, they'll literally have like sections blocked off on all 3 at the same time. They don't think about what they're doing. They will just start roadworks all at the same time and then wonder why there's gridlock everywhere and there's never any flow. They're just absolutely morons, and always have been. And it just drives me up the wall, and it drives everybody that lives here up the wall. I don't think there's a single person that doesn't fucking hate them for that. Like, yeah, just absolute idiots. Anyway, I'm getting flashbacks. Trauma's coming up about the fucking roadworks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it used to take me an hour to get to work on most days. Now it's going back. Yuck. Yeah, and I was only traveling like 20 Ks.
Yeah, that sucks. Like, it takes me an hour to get to work, but I'm literally traveling.
You're literally traveling across borders, like territory.
I'm traveling a long way.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyway, much better living in this small country town. I can say that much right now. It is so much nicer.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah.
Like, you have one building that functions as one building.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone looks out for everybody. It's good. It's good life. That's for sure. And everyone values hard work here too, which is what I like. Like, if you're a hard worker, you pretty much get along with most people.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting. That's for sure. So speaking of car news, you got your car back. So tell everyone,
I have my car back. I got my car back yesterday.
Tell everyone the story of your car.
So basically, I'll start from the beginning. So end of last year, literally on the Wednesday of the last week of work, my alternator died. And so I had the alternator replaced.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this year. And then about 2 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago, uh my car was basically handling really it was very lumpy. It was handling very it was very lumpy when idle is the way I described it. And so I took it to my regular mechanic, and then they went through and tried to work out what the issue was. And what had happened, but it is so the reason it was running really lumpy is because the alternator shifted position, which allowed it to vibrate. And then because it's on two brackets, one bracket is connected to the intake manifold and another bracket is connected to the bottom of the engine, or whether the block. um so because the alternator was allowed to move, and it shifted it and it vibrated, it put a massive crack in the intake manifold. And so basically air was leaking out of my intake manifold. So it was causing all sorts of problems. So almost 3 weeks ago, I took it back to the same people that did the alternator originally, and then they sorted it all out. And because it would end up being a warranty repair, so I had all that done for free in the end. But what had happened, basically, this is not their fault, believe it or not. So this is a problem that originated about 7, actually, where are we up to? No, this is a problem that originated almost 9 years ago. So when I got this car off of my eldest sister about 9 years ago, um, she recently had the alternator replaced. So, the person who did the original alternator replacement dropped the engine, replaced the alternator, but couldn't be bothered basically they couldn't be bothered to do something. So they put the bolt that connects the alternator to the bottom bracket, which connects to the block of the engine. They put it in backwards because they couldn't be bothered dropping the engine to do it properly. So they put the bolt in backwards, and as a result, it allowed the bolt to move around, and it actually stretched the hole that bolt goes in. So when I had this new alternator put in, it was put in the correct way, which means it had a lot of slack to move around, which is what caused the alternator to shift around and vibrate and put massive crack in the intake manifold. So and the thing is that the person who did the alternator replacement at the beginning of this year was fairly new to putting in alternators, and probably to the whole auto electrician industry, which is fine. I don't blame them for that. I don't blame someone for not knowing something because they're new to it. They didn't pick up on that, so they put it all back together correctly. And so it allowed the alternator to shift, move, and then put a crack in the intake manifold. So the intake manifold and the bracket at the bottom that connects the bottom of the alternator to the block of the engine were all replaced, all well done. So now it's all working again, but it was a very frightening time. It was very much one of those, like, ah, shit. Because my initial thought was that it was either the ignition coils or the spark plugs, which I actually had those replaced just before I went to the back to the auto electrician. So the car is at 110% again, and will keep going
Keep going to make that
forever.
million kilometers.
Yes, I'm at 515,000 kilometers, and so I'm more than halfway there.
Yeah, as long as your
So
engine lasts until then, which is short, will, with the amount of maintenance you do on it.
yeah, I have it.
Yeah,
I get it
probably.
serviced about 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah, it'll make
So
it. It will
I
make it.
yeah, and then after that, I don't actually know what to. Well,
I know
I
you
want
really want the
to
hijet or something like that.
I want a hijet so freaking badly.
Should
Like
just get
basically,
one.
I probably should.
It's
When when the Astra gets to 1,000,000 kilometers, I'm going to get a hijet.
yeah.
Um, and then I'm wondering if it would be worth swapping out the. Well, I'd have to do a lot of research, which I have time for now, and
Worth
then I'll
what? Swapping
probably
out what?
swapping out the transmission for so I can go a slightly higher speed, so I can actually get to because the hijets by a stock standard, the hijets max speed is 120 kilometers an hour, which means you're going to be revving the guts out of the engine on the highway, which is predominantly what I do. Like I predominantly drive on the highway, so I'm going to be revving the guts out of the engine to get from point A to point B
Yeah, it
90% of
won't
the
last
time.
very long doing that. You could,
No, so
yeah, you could always look
so
at getting a slightly, not necessarily a higher jet, but another type of key truck that's got a bigger motor in it. That's probably why its
yeah,
motor's too small.
yeah, the I probably get well I whatever works better, I suppose.
Yeah, you still want that
Um
small form factor little
I
truck.
I really want the small form factor. I want
Yeah,
the versatility because it is a very I think it's a
yeah.
very versatile vehicle.
Hey, they might
Um
even bring and the fucking Toyota Champ would the Hilux
oh,
Champ would
I
cost
want
an
a
arm and a
Toyota
leg.
Champ.
It costs an arm and a leg if they bring it in Australia. I don't think they will because it doesn't have airbags or anything like that. But
It's yeah, I would have loved the Champ because it's like it was a I think it was a 15 or $20,000 Ute, which would have been perfect
in
because like
US, yeah,
no
US non,
$10,000 in US.
yeah. So it's not
Um
much. It's a cheap little Ute, and you know it carries a lot
yeah
of weight and it has a lot of functionality. And I actually like the Toyota Hilux Champ. I think it's nice. Like when you look underneath it, you can see where they cut corners and stuff like that. But like, there's nothing structurally wrong with it, so it'll do its job fine. Um, but yeah, I would like one too because I think they're a great work vehicle type thing. Good little farm bus.
yeah
So yeah, that'd be cool.
definitely
But yeah, because I don't think we had a podcast after my car issues either, did we?
no
Yeah, so I also had a bit of car problems. Not really problems, but I fixed my car as well. I also serviced it not long ago. Found out that underneath my car is very rusty these days.
oh no
Thanks to living next to the ocean, it's no longer clean anymore. Now it looks like a
yeah
place that looks like it's living next to the ocean because it is. It's literally getting the sea breeze on it daily. Yes,
yeah oh
I do
shit
clean my car regularly, but unfortunately, it doesn't matter. You can clean your car as much as you want, but if you live next to the ocean, you're gonna get salt.
yeah
And not as bad as like the salt belt in America, but it's pretty rusty over there now. So my clock spring went. So basically, what happened was on my way to work in the morning, the airbag light started flashing. That morning, I hooked up the scan tool on it, and it's put on their driver's airbag module resistance high, um, which usually means your clock spring's gone bad. Another clock spring error is clock spring scrib fault. Um, so that also means the clock spring's going bad. I replaced it pretty much within. So that day, I told colleague was like, "Can you order me a new clock spring?" And I got it Friday, and I replaced it Friday after work.
hell
So
yeah
I had to wait for a customer to pick up the car. So I was like, "Well, in this time, I might as well pull my car in the workshop, take the airbag out, and take off the steering wheel and replace the clock spring." So I did it all within an hour. You could probably take 30 minutes, but I was piss farting around, drinking while also fucking doing it with everyone around me, having some beers. Yeah, it was good. We always do that on a Friday night. It's like a tradition. We just have one beer each.
Yeah,
If you
no,
can
we have
count
the
that as,
same
but
sort of
yeah,
thing at where I work as well. Like a lot of
yeah,
Fridays,
knock
someone
off
will just
beer.
pull out a beer and be like, "All right, don't have a beer."
Yeah, I'm not really a big beer drinker, but I do drink it socially. It is nice to just have that one beer, you know. I don't really like the taste of beer, but I'll just have it, you know, just that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Good thing
I
about it.
just had an idea.
Yeah.
So, fuel consumption?
Mm.
Actually, I don't know if you'll agree with this, but I'll just throw the idea out there anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's X amount of liters per 100 kilometers.
Yeah.
I think that needs to change because 100 kilometers in first gear is going to consume a lot more petrol or a lot more fuel than 100 kilometers in fifth gear. So why not just do fuel consumption based on amount or liters per 1000 revolutions?
Mm.
Actually, that's
Because
another thing. I don't know. What
because
I don't know as well is, do fuel injectors adjust their?
yes, they do.
They do
They
adjust.
Yeah, they do, because the faster you travel, the more intervals they are firing.
No, no, no. I mean,
Are you talking
do
about
fuel injectors inject more vapor
No,
if you
no,
accelerate?
no. They
They
eject a
just
set
they just
amount, unless you have a variable injector, which is what I used to run in my VS Commodore.
yeah.
I don't think it's actually. I could be wrong in the name on variable. So my old Commodore injectors were electronically controlled. So, they were 1000 cc injectors, but they
Yeah.
had a little solenoid in them that would open up the valley. So, like the injection of the fuel into the injectors. There was a little solenoid that would open up more to allow more fuel to go in, so it will increase its capacity to the 1000 cc's that it can use.
Yeah.
Um, I very expensive injectors, very much a waste of time in a V6 Ecotech fucking Commodore, but I got it for free. So um, so the on those ones,
Oh.
the way it works, so you either most injectors, most average injectors are just simple. They will give you the set amount that they are designed for. So whatever the factory injector is set for, that's what you get every time it fires. If it's running clean and efficiently, it will vaporize
Yep.
that exact amount. It will inject more fuel, obviously, as the revolutions go up, because it's firing more frequently. So that's where you get the more
Yeah. Well,
fuel
that's a
coming into
that's
it,
a
obviously.
linear
Yeah,
that's a
but
linear increase. No, I'm thinking about exponential.
no,
So
they generally don't do that. They generally don't increase or decrease the fuel injection itself, like the amount of fuel it's pumping through. But you can get injectors that do that. I think the hypercars can do that stuff, like what mine used to be able to do. So the way mine worked was, if I wanted the full 1000 cc shot, you can either do it with your tuning setup, but I never had that.
yep.
Mine was wired into the vehicle, so for me to do it, I would have to hit the power button so the gearbox didn't shift and hold gears, and I would then shift it into third. I think that's the way he set it up. And it would, because in third gear, that's the highest speed gear. So I would only ever do it if I was already moving. I can't do it. The way he'd set it up is I can't do it from stationary. So I can't go from low second to third. The reason why he did that is he didn't want to blow my engine up.
Yeah.
Because he just did it as a favor, because I did a favor for him, so he did it there. So he did it that when I go into third and press the power button, it will tell the computer to then, that he put in it, like a chip that he put in it, would tell it to then open up the solenoid to allow the full 1000 cc's to go through the injectors. When I had it just in drive, driving like a normal automatic, it would just go back to factory setting. So the solenoid would go back down, and yeah. The reason why he gave me them is he bought them for his car, and he just, something happened. No, I think he blew up that car, and he couldn't. I think he blew up that car, and he had the injectors, like, because he had a VS as well. He blew up the car, and he had the injectors just laying around doing absolutely fucking nothing. So he just like, and then I helped him out with something. He was like, "Here, do you want me to just do this for you?" I was going to do it to my car and see what it'd do. And so he gave it to my car, and I can tell you, you know, it wasn't worth it. The amount of power I got out of it compared to how much fuel I would fucking burn through,
Nah.
it's just so not worth it. It was just all noise. Like, it just would get so loud, and I'd get a little bit more power, but then I'd just watch my fuel gauge just going like that. I'm just like, yeah, it's just so not worth it. But it was just kind of funny to have, 1,000cc injectors in your VS Commodore. It's just so stupid. So fucking stupid. Anyway, but yeah, so it was a cool setup that he did, and I'm glad he did do the way he did because I never blew up my motor.
Yeah.
Because I think if he did it the way he was going to do with his car, where the way he said he was going to set up with his car was same thing. You turn the power button on the gearbox. I think that was like he reprogrammed it, so it wasn't like standard way Commodores work, where you press the power button and it holds gears for towing and stuff like that. So the way he originally done it is because on the Commodores you have first, second, and third on your automatic trans, and so he had set up that first, second, and third a part of the gates to allow the solenoid to open up. So you start off in first, and then the solenoid opens up, and you go second and third for racing. But with me, he's like, "No, I don't want you to blow up your car because this is your daily." Like, because his car wasn't his daily, so then that's why he's like put it in third. And he's like, "This way, your car's already up on the revolutions, and you don't run the risk of just fucking flooring and being a stupid person, like on a cold start, just launching it with it fully opened up, causing damage because the Ecotechs aren't exactly the most strongest motors there are. That's the reason why a lot of people who turbo them end up blowing them up.
Yeah.
They're great. They're great engine stock, but when you add to them, they can cause issues. I don't know the setup. I've never heard anyone doing anything that he did. He was just one of these sort of guys that was just really like clever. Yeah, he was really, really clever at doing things. He would do so many unique things with his cars. But yeah, it was cool. It was a lot smarter than I could ever be. That's for sure. And didn't take him long to do. He did it on a weekend too. So.
Oh right.
Yeah, he did it when he was servicing a car.
Yeah, that's one of the because one of the reasons that I want to get the Astra to 1,000,000 kilometers is so that I can pull the engine apart and rebuild it, because that's a skill that I would like to have.
I don't see the value in doing that, but
I want to do it anyway. Well, no, it's not necessarily like a financial value. It's all like I'm probably going to lose money by I could very well lose money by doing the
probably
by
cheap,
rebuilding the engine.
probably
but
cheaper.
It's going to be cheaper to buy a new car. I don't care. Like it's not the money that's the point. It's the
process of learning how to do it.
Yeah, it's the satisfaction of knowing that I can do it.
Yeah,
that I want. I don't really care about money.
I mean, anyone who just slows down, follows instructions, and has specialty tools. That's the thing. You got to have a lot of specialty tools when it comes to building engines.
Right.
So at least on the bright side, I mean, you and I are both in the same boat. We are a little bit of tool fanatics.
Little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like my collection is tools. Like, I just buy tools for lots of different things.
Yeah,
specialist tools. Like, I've been eyeing off so many fucking, like, I want to get into micro soldering and repairing like boards and stuff like that, just because I think it's interesting. And I was just like, I had an idea because there's now new metal 3D printers as well.
Yeah.
And I've been watching this guy use them, and they're not very expensive. They're affordable. They're the same price as a standard 3D printer. So if that's saying a lot, like the fact that the consumer side of 3D printing metal has gotten so much cheaper than what it used to be, it's pretty impressive. This guy makes all sorts of stuff. He made so he did. I was watching. He did electronic repair on an ECU on a car,
Yep.
and basically the car was in an accident, and the ECU was damaged in the accident. It was like an angled impact, and the ECU was attached near the strut top, like in the wheel arch area, mounted there. And as the car came and hit it, it actually hit the ECU. The ECU bracket snapped, and then it flung off and hit something and cracked the housing and damaged the 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 solders in the power in the connectors and stuff. So like the
Yep.
ECU itself was damaged. Now he went to the wreckers and said, "How much for this?" And they were like, "Just take it," like because they didn't want it because it was worthless to them. And he's like, "Oh, you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah, just take it." So he ended up taking it all apart. He heated up the ECU because this guy's a like a motherboard specialist. He repairs motherboards. So like it's really weird for him to just go from repairing motherboards and stuff like that and phones and computers and all that shit to like car stuff. So it's kind of interesting to me to watch it. And yeah, he did. He got the schematic somehow. He found the schematic for the PCB board, replaced all the components with his stock stuff because electronics is all the same, like capacitors and all the switches and triggers and all the chiplets and all the everything's the same. You know, like there's no specialty sort of equipment really. It's all the fucking same. So he just reused the components he had in stock for his motherboard repairs on it. Obviously, it's got heat resistance on the ones he used because obviously in an ECU, it's got to withstand a certain amount of thermal stress because it's in an engine bay.
Yeah.
And then he 3D printed the casing for it. So because the casing was completely split and it's split and it's an aluminium casing, so like it cracked and whatnot. And he scanned it all up and he 3D printed it with his metal 3D printer and came out looking really good. And then he ended up selling it as a rebuild to like a car supply type thing. And they bought it off him and then sold it on to a customer that needed one. So that was kind of cool. Not many people could do that. I guess it was lucky that the ECU wasn't damaged in any of like the memory stuff. Because I'd imagine, like, if it was damaged in any of those components, it's a no-go. Because he
pretty much
he wouldn't have any of the technology to flash it to be able to reinstall the ECU software and stuff.
It depends on the type of chip because each chip has a different. I'll get into that in a second. So each chip has a different way that it communicates with itself, and all the components are outside of it.
Yeah.
So he would basically need a chip that worked in the exact same way and has the exact file, like the exact same file on it, for it to work. Otherwise it wouldn't. So I've been interested in getting into x86/x64 firmware, or basically assembly, and that's the kind of stuff that you would program the ECU with, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's not easy getting into tuning. I only know a surface level of it.
Yeah.
It is very, very complicated to do coding yourself. A lot of people, they obviously use software that automatically does the hard work for you, that will read the ECU and the TCM and like not TCM, the gearbox module, fucking called. Anyway, the gearbox module, the body control module, ECU, all that stuff. It automatically talks to all those components and then translates it for you and then makes it a simple false or true scenario. So when you put in what you want to do, so example, you want to tune it up a little bit and change the values and that, you can do all that and it will automatically flash the system in the language that it needs to know and all that sort of shit. But there are hardcore tuners out there that can fucking do that manually. That can read all that shit and change the values and flash it just by reading the code. Those are the skilled guys. They're the ones that there's a reason why they're paid thousands and thousands of dollars to do their job. There's a reason why they're on Formula One and racing teams. There's a reason why they do what they do, because like it is, it's as complicated as any programmer really, but I think more so because I feel cars have so many more sensors than say a computer software does. There's just a lot of environmental factors you have to take into considerations, and yeah, it's just a lot harder, I think.
That's fair.
But it would be cool to pick someone's brain who can do all that shit and then sort of learn from them. Because it's cool. Like if I could have a dyno, I would have a dyno and learn how to tune for sure. Especially out here, there's a lot of dirt circuit races out here, and I'm sure they would love a fucking tuner out here. Even the full drive system, system, like there's so many people that get their full drives tuned. Though, in fairness, honestly, you're always better off leaving your car stock. The more stock your car is, the better it's gonna most likely last you. There's a few aftermarket stuff you can do and a few adjustments that you can increase longevity out of your car that isn't stock, but overall, you end up leaving your car stock anyway. It's just better because your car's designed to run a certain way, and when you start messing around with it, there are obviously pros and cons to everything you do. Especially when it comes to tuning, a lot of tuners end up blowing up cars because they just don't really understand how the car works that well and why it was designed the way it was. There's a company in hot water at the moment, I'm not going to name any names, but basically they were selling 300 series Land Cruisers and they had chopped them. So that when you chop a wagon, like a Land Cruiser, you basically turn it to a ute. So you chop the back end of the wagon, so like back end of the cab off, and then you just turn into a ute. Put a ute tray on it and whatnot, but they also tune them. And every single car that they have sold has blown up. There's one here in town. It's been sitting at the Toyota dealership for quite some time, because it has a blown motor because of the tune. So there's a lot of people don't understand, like,
you need to be really good at mathematics.
It's not even mathematics. You just got to be really good at understanding the car and understanding the manufacturers and what they wanted and why they designed what they did. You got to get in the head of the engineers. You have to understand them, because the thing with modern diesels these days is people want modern diesels to run as powerful as a petrol. And so a lot of the time when they come out of factory, they already are fucking upped on the power level at the maximum. They're just below that threshold. So then when a tuner comes in and then goes, oh, the customer wants more power, let's give it more power. And then we'll disable the EGR and all that sort of stuff. Not understanding that the car, you've now just increased that car's limit to above the line. And then you've gone and put bigger tires, upgraded the suspension, increased the weight of the overall car, like added all the aftermarket shit to it. So now it's more weight. So it's already at the limit, but then now you've just added more weight to it to make it work more. And then most of the time they chuck a caravan on the back of it. So now it's working even harder. And then that's why they blow up. Good tuners will actually look at the factory settings and they understand what the engineers designed it to do. And a lot of the time they'll actually decrease the power to up the efficiency to then make it better. If that makes sense. So by increasing the efficiency, you make it run more efficient, and therefore can handle loads. So it's already just barely under the line, and they will just put it just a little bit one notch down. And by doing that, the car runs better, it lasts longer, it's better on fuel. They've cancelled out all the emission shit, which is illegal. So technically, what they're doing illegal if they do that. But let's just talk off road, like sort of understanding only. We're not talking about legalities or anything here. We're just talking about pure just doing it. Generally, those tunes just work better because they know the limits and so they just set them that little bit better, and you get more power out of the vehicle, but not like in terms of horsepower. You get more torque power out of it, because that's what you want in a diesel. You want more torque. You don't want more horsepower. You want more torque. So that's generally how they do it properly. That's why they call it a safe tune. But
that's fair enough.
There's a lot of people that understand that, but there's also a lot of people that don't. So
there's a balance to it. It's very much like trigonometry. Yeah. There's a balance to it, and too much in one way is going to increase something that you may not expect in another way, and you have to keep that all in mind. And it's a lot of fun.
That's why the new Ford Super GT has less horsepower, than the just standard Ford Ranger. And the reason why is because the Super GT is being built from the ground up to be able to tow 4.5 ton. It's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So to do that, what they've done to make the engine last longer, because we all know Ford Rangers just blow up left, right, and center. And that is part of the reason, is because they are at that line. So then once you start putting more stress on that line, it's suddenly boop, over the line, and then bang, engine blows up. Whether it be like the injectors are being worked too hard because it's towing full time, or you're not servicing it enough, or the fucking belt deteriorates. It doesn't matter anyway. It's at that line. So that's the reason why they detuned it a little bit. They gave it more torque, but the reason why it has more torque is actually not because of the engine, because of the drivetrain. The drivetrain that they used in it is a F-150. The rear differential is a Ford Transit. Ford Transit vans are better at dealing with the weight because they are a van. They're designed to handle weight. They're like they carry a lot of weight in them. They're a big fucking van. So that's why they did what they did. And then they just detuned the engine a little bit to have less power, but more torque, because in combination with the drivetrain, it will get more torque. Because it's a bigger and heavier unit to be able to pull things. Won't get there fast, but it will get there efficiently and safely. Yeah. That's what they were going for anyway.
That mostly comes down to the engine and the transmission and the diff.
Well, there's more components, because you on a Super GT, you got the transmission, you got the transfer case, and then you've got the both front and rear diff. Rear diff because it's not full time all-wheel drive, so but in full drive, then you got the front diff, and then you get more torque. Yeah, it's a whole thing when it comes to full drives.
Nice. Yeah, true. Yeah, it's it is a lot of fun to get into this sort of side of the engineering of cars, because it's just like a massive fucking puzzle, really.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, it's still too early to know how these new V6 engines going. I mean, so far they've been recalled like no tomorrow, but
it's usually not a good sign.
No, not really. Like, recalls happen because this is a first generation thing, and they're learning. Right. So, like, every first generation of anything is always just shit. And I'm not really one to defend Ford, but I will say that at least they are actually doing recalls instead of just hiding it under the rug like many other brands did. Toyota did it for so long with their bloody timing chains. How long did it take them to start doing recalls? We still get cars coming in every now and then with a bad timing chain on a Hilux or a Prado on the 1GDs.
Yeah.
So, yes. But yeah, it's all interesting. It's also going to be interesting to see how this high sulfur fuel is going to handle in diesels.
Is it diesel? Is it also petrol?
It's all fuel. Yeah.
All fuel. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that's what I thought initially, but yeah.
All except Avgas and Kero.
Hmm.
Obviously you can't with them because it's fucking jet fuel. But
Is the sulfur, because the sulfur and hydrogen makes sulfuric acid? Is it that it's going to build? Is it just going to cake up on the engine, or is it just going to literally dissolve the engine?
it will cause havoc on so many different components. It will kind of do both. It will kind of cause a lot of
Right.
muck. A lot of people say that the fuel filters will catch a lot of it. That's not true. It won't.
Mm,
It's you're talking to the atomic level. Fuel filter, it doesn't stop
yeah.
elements from getting through.
Yeah.
Sulfur is an
It's mostly
element.
like, yeah, yeah. It's mostly to prevent the like the dirt that's in the fuel
Yeah.
in the fuel tanks underneath
Yeah,
the
it
petrol
won't.
station from
It,
getting into your engine. But like
yeah,
individual atoms, fucking forget about
yeah. It
it.
will.
Because
It will
that's
go past your fuel filter. I can tell you much right now. It will stop the gunk, yes, but it won't stop. It won't stop sulfur itself as an element. Um,
yeah,
so it does exactly that. It will convert into nitric. It will convert into the sulfuric acid,
sulfuric acid. Yeah,
and it will eat at components. I mean, the engines automatically do this anyway. That's the whole point of oil and that is to help clean and lubricate and stuff. So you will probably have to do more frequent oil changes to
right.
prevent damage. So, say for example, I always advise all makes and models should really change the oil on a diesel every 10,000 k's minimum. Um, if you're towing, probably every 5,000 k's, 5,000 to 6,000. You know,
Yeah,
if you're towing. But yeah, 10,000 definitely. I would probably change it more frequently, just to help exactly that, to keep your engine clean, to help, because you're gonna have to change the oil more frequently because the oil quality is gonna deteriorate a lot faster with higher sulfur levels. And then the problem is your DPF system will not like it because your fuel will be running dirtier. And DPF problems are probably going to have left, right, and center. Actually, fucking last week we had so many DPF issues on all makes and models. Just everyone was having DPF issues last week. It's really weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah. So like generally your DPF works fine. People rave on about how shit DPF is, and okay, I agree that it is an additional problem to go wrong. And when a DPF issue arises, it will automatically put the car on limp mode, which is funny because your car can be missing and firing on 3 cylinders, but won't go on limp mode. But as soon as a DPF light comes on and it won't go away because it can't regen, just throws in limp mode straight away. That's so weird. Even though it doesn't actually cause damage to the engine per se, but a misfire definitely does. But yeah, it won't go on limp mode for that anyway. So yeah, so generally the DPF will only ever play up if something is wrong. So DPF issue is a symptom rather than the cause. That makes sense.
yeah,
So for in this case, the cause is bad fuel or fuel quality, which will then make the car soot up more because high sulfur will obviously have more soot accumulation. Therefore,
right.
DPF will have issues because it will clog up more frequently. And if it doesn't regen properly for whatever reason, it will just throw a fault code and go on limp mode. It can get pretty blocked to the point where it actually needs to be taken off and cleaned or replaced. The only time a DPF needs to be replaced is if it actually has melted itself or which can happen because it makes sense because like it gets that hot because it's blocked. There's no for the heat to go, so it just melts like components in it.
Hmm.
You know, it gets pretty hot in it. I mean, it's literally like a furnace to burn off the carbon
Right.
because it ejects fuel inside the filter. Because the DPF looks like a honeycomb filter, real fine mesh all the way through, like
Yeah.
like in a like a cat looking thing. and it will inject fuel into it that will then ignite and burn, which will clean the carbon out. That's how it works. That's how DPF reduces the soot coming out of your car. It literally is like a secondary burn off, kind of like an afterburner in a jet. It burns all the it burns all the excess fuel and carbon and all the other shit. But its prime task is burning the carbon, filtering the soot. So yeah, with this new fuel proposal, it's going to cause issues with that. In modern petrols, probably won't be as bad, just because petrols aren't as sensitive. But you still probably will need to do more freaking oil changes. But that whole thing, like, there's heaps of misinformation. Like, some people said, "Oh, the fuel quality's only been changed like since last year. They only upped up to 50, and before that was at 120." And it's like, no, that's not true at all. I don't know where you're getting the information, but that's not true. It was fucking like decades ago that they changed the quality of the fuel, and they went from 20 to 10, not fucking 120 to 20. I don't know where they got that shit from, but anyway. I don't know what fuel they're talking about, but it doesn't matter anyway. It's going to fuck a lot of cars. Put it this way. Modern cars are going to they're going to be having issues. It's going to be very costly to us as the people.
Yeah, I'm not excited for that part. And if it fucks up my engine, I'm going to riot and then have it fixed.
It could probably damage your car, yeah. It could easily but if you just maintain your car a little bit more frugally, you might be able to offset the negatives on it at least.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Because like I said, the good thing about oil cleans and lubricates. So if you do more frequent oil changes, it will help fight against the sulfuric acid buildup as well. Can't really stop anything in the fuel systems, but I think the fuel system will be fine. Probably change fuel filters more frequently, which is hard on petrols because petrols, the fuel filters in the tank on most of them, which is a pain in the ass to do. It's not an easy job. A lot of the time you have to take the tank out. It's kind of a big job to do it. In-tank fuel filter. But, yeah, time will tell anyway. We could be panicking and might not be as bad. Who knows?
Yeah.
Won't know until we start seeing it. I'm lucky I don't have a DPF. So it won't affect my car as badly as someone that does. But it could affect my car in other ways, though. But I do change my oil every 5,000 Ks, so at least I have...
Oh, you're probably fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I fixed that problem that I was having.
What's that?
What problem? So I think I fucked up when I did my service last. I usually always put a slither of oil on the seal of my oil filter. I usually always do it, but for some reason, the last oil change I didn't do that, and I think it caused an issue where overnight my oil will drain out of my oil filter because the oil light will stay on a little bit longer than it should be. It was a little more than that 3 second. And I think that's why. I think I put the fucking oil filter on without doing that to seal it up properly. And I think that's where I went wrong. Because this time around, I did the oil change and now it's fine. So I'm like, yeah, I stuffed that up. And I was talking to the mechanics who was doing it. And I was like, you guys always do that? And they're like, yeah, we do. And I was like, yeah, I didn't do it last time. I think I know that's why. And they're like, probably. But it's not so bad because I'm only doing short trips. And to be honest, again, I changed my oil every 5,000 Ks. So it wasn't going long enough to cause damage. And I didn't do any highway driving or anything like that. So it's fine. I wouldn't have done much damage to it. So if not, I'll probably done one. There was no metal.
Yeah, no more damage than standard driving would have done anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It just meant that it was like I did an oil change every day. I just had to put the oil up to pressure every time. That's all. Had to move it through the engine to fill up the oil filter. Because once it was pressurized, it didn't leak or anything. It just when it was sitting, it would unpressurize and then drop all the oil out of the thing. So when you start up, the oil pressure had to take a little bit to get up there. It's not great because, you know, my timing chain doesn't get fully lubricated straight away, like things like that. So I used to put this additive in my oil. I should probably start doing that again, actually.
What additive?
So basically what the additive does is because my car takes 5W30, so 5W30 is very thin oil. So generally, every time you start it after you've let it sit overnight, there's probably very little oil on your components over like in the morning when you start it up. What
Yeah.
this additive does, it doesn't change the viscosity of the oil. It just makes it sticky. If that makes sense. It holds to metal. It binds to metal more. So it like coats. So basically, so then that way, when you start the engine, it will make the oil stay on the metal surfaces. So then that way, when you start it the next day, they're still lubricated. They've still got oil on them.
Yeah.
That's what it does. It doesn't change the viscosity. It doesn't change the temperature. It just makes the oil bind better to metal. That's all it does.
Yeah.
It also has a better effect of stabilizing the oil a little bit more, so it gives it a little bit more longevity.
Yeah.
Because it has a stabilizing agent in it. I stopped using it because I've just been lazy. I still have half a can of it, but yeah, you basically put half a can in each service. Yeah, that's its purpose. Its purpose is just to make sure that the next day when you start it, there's still oil covering all your metal components. Because that's what causes
That's
wear in an engine.
Yeah.
Is
the metal contact.
Yeah, and you always get that when you start up in the next day. Because all the oil's drained down. If it's a thin oil like 5W30, it's drained all down overnight. So it's very thin oil.
Alternatively, you could flip your car upside down in the morning.
Yeah,
give it a bit of a shake.
Well, you could do what race car drivers do and spend all the money and have an electronic pickup pump. So what they do on race cars, is they have a little button and they prime the oil before they start it. So they prime and goes nee, 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 and it like brings all the oil and circulates around their engine. Then they start the engine. But you're talking about engines that are like 2,000 horsepower, like.
Oh,
you know, like you don't really want to start that with no oil.
We'll fucking shred. We'll absolutely shred the engine with that oil.
So that's why they have that installed. But
friction weld.
If you wanted your engine to last a long time, you could install one of them if you've got money. It's an expensive venture, I'd imagine, but yeah, it would protect your engine every time. You would never have a cold start, an issue with metal on metal situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're going to call it quits. Luckily, we can actually raid into someone today.
Hell yeah. Is Goobs on?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yep, Goobs is on, and there's a black cat on her channel at the moment. So.
Hell yeah, even better. Black cat Goobs.
Let's go raid into Goobs. We haven't seen Goobs in a while. All right, thank you very much, everybody, for coming in and saying hi. And yeah, apologize about the having to run off to a call out.
Yeah.
Didn't even end up didn't even end up going anyway. But you never know.
It's the
though.
thought that counts.
You got to treat every situation as a potential chaos one. So, all right, we'll catch you next time. Bye.